Did it?
Tune in every night, Carlos and Jay, alright. Talking love so bright under the studio lights. Dating tips galore, they're never a bore. Laughing till we're sore, tuning in for more. Love in black and white, they keep it loose and tight. Putting love back in sight with every funny bite. Relationships they break, from real to all that's fake. These guys never flake, always make you stay awake. Love in black and white, Carlos, Jake, take flight. Keep your love in mind so right, every single night. Through laughter, tears and fears, they've gotten us for years. With jokes and all that's dear, our love's clear. Through laughter, tears and fears, they've gotten us for years. With jokes and all that's dear, our love's clear.
Hey, what's up, everybody? Welcome to Love in Black and White, where each week Carlos and I try and put the love back in you right. I'm one of your hosts, Big Irish Jay Hollingsworth.
Hey, man.
And as usual, we have the Black Sergio de Bergerac, the Black Don Juan Cornelius.
What? It's always something different.
I know. Part-time famous, full-time funny, Carlos Anthony.
Hey, we're in the building.
What's up, Carlos? How are you?
Hey, man, I'm here.
Me too.
We are here. It's a good day. It's a beautiful day outside. You know,
It's a beautiful day. Yes, it is. I know. Dude, you know what the deal is. A little caffeine. Got a little caffeine. You saw my sleep score. Fucking slept good. I'm ready to roll, baby.
are you? Is that Mountain Dew in there?
It might as well be. I mean, I'm white trash, but I'm not that fucking white trash. Dude, it's just real quick. When I was a kid and I lived with my grandparents, they would make fucking popcorn, like the fresh popcorn, the Jiffy that you'd put on the oven and it'd, expand.
Mm-hmm.
And Mountain Dew, and we would watch the Carol Burnett show.
Okay.
Yeah.
I mean, that sounds about right. That's something I do.
Yeah, and I mean, I'm not gonna lie, Mountain Dew with like popcorn that you like butter and salt on, it's a pretty good combo.
I don't think I've ever had that, and I'm a popcorn fiend, and I don't think I've had Mountain Dew. Yeah,
dude. Now I know what I can get you as for like birthday or Christmas, because you're like me. I'm fucking huge popcorn dude.
I thought about buying me. When I was putting my office together, I thought about buying me one of those popcorn things that you set in the corner like the movie theater.
Yeah,
that would have been that would have been dope.
You probably didn't do it because I'd be over more.
Hey, man, come on over, brother.
Yeah. Come on over. All right, what we got today? What we got, Carlos?
You didn't put no topics in there.
Okay, yeah, we can start with mine.
Okay. It's like, wait a minute. It's like, wait a minute. You didn't put no topics in there?
Yeah.
Go for it.
Okay, I got one topic is what you want versus what you need.
You didn't put that in there.
You should be like, all right, go ahead, talk on it.
You almost got me. I was like, that sounds damn.
No,
about the same thing.
I started to put in there your thoughts or your thoughts on people are, I guess you'd say late. Well, actually, it could be gay couple. It could be in basically somewhat. What's your thoughts on relationship where it's 50-50? They do everything 50-50.
I don't necessarily have a problem with it. I mean, if that's your agreement. I mean, if that's how you go into the relationship and that's how you're looking at it, you're like, hey, listen, I need this from you. I need half of what you're doing, and we just put ours together and make it work, then hey, cool. But if that's not the agreement and someone thinks that it should be that way and assume so, then I think you're setting yourself up for a hill you probably won't be climb.
Yeah, I mean that's like it's it's not weird. I mean we've or I was about to say Carlos. Angel and I have never had like let's sit down and talk about this, but we kind of always just like we split all the bills at the house, you know. But then like when we have date nights and stuff, I kind of still pay. I still just kind of pay for it. I don't, but
I
like,
think that also makes the house. I mean, so y'all didn't have that discussion about the bills at the house. It was just something that she bring it to you and was like, hey, this is what I'm going to do here to kind of take some pressure off for you at the house. Or
well, I mean, actually maybe we did talk about it, but it wasn't like it was, I mean, it was really casual and like kind of like we both kind of knew, like, you know, like when we started looking at houses and everything, you know, we talked about like, yeah, you know, we'll pay this, well, the mortgage is whatever, or when we found out what the mortgage, because we knew Justin was going to, you know, we were going to rent a room to Justin.
Right.
So we, you know, Angel and I figured we would be having our part of the mortgage, and then like he would have an amount that he was paying for rent, and all the bills we just have them, you know, half them.
Yes.
You know,
I mean, that makes sense.
yeah,
Because I mean, it does help to me in my opinion. I think it does obviously help when you have help.
yeah.
I mean, it's unless you have an extensive amount of money, or you know, money just coming in hand over fist, then that's a whole different situation. And I personally wouldn't be like, hey, baby, the rent is or the mortgage is, I'm gonna say $2,000. I need you to give me $1,000 of that, and I got 10,000 coming in every month.
Yeah,
then that's stupid.
Maybe 10,000, maybe, I don't know, you know. But no, I know what you mean though. Yeah, if I would, I mean, I've always kind of been, and you're the same. Like we've never had this talk, but just from your actions and our interactions, I know you're kind of the same. Where I've always been like, if I have it, we have it. Like in the sense of like, I mean, dude, how many times have we'll go to the movies and you know, whether you get the tickets or I get the tickets or whatever, and I don't really like shit like that. I don't really, you know, whatever, you know.
What up, crazy cutie?
Like we're always just like, give me on the next one. What up, crazy cutie? Favorite black and white.
Okay, yeah, I mean, because it's have the conversations again. All this we have a reoccurring theme here with regards to love and black and white, and that's communication. Like, communicate with your partner, be upfront with what you want and what you need, so that there's nothing on the back end that comes up where you like, oh, I didn't know that's what you needed from me, because now you're creating a situation that didn't have to happen. So
Right.
if half is what you expect in a relationship, and you're starting to date someone, and that's something that you need to put out there, saying, hey, listen, if we get serious about this is what I'm looking for from you. And then they got to make a decision as to how they want to proceed with it.
Yes. Yep. It's, and like you said, I mean, if I had just fuck you money or whatever, then I'm not gonna. I wouldn't. Can you imagine if you're a millionaire and you're like, okay, baby, so I'm still gonna need that part of rent from you. You know, I mean, you know, cash, ass, or grass.
But to that though, here's the flip side to that. If I am doing everything, if I am taking care of everything, and you are, either you have some income coming in or you are doing something else, then I expect my home to be peaceful.
Yeah, oh God.
I expect it to be extremely peaceful. Now, I'm not saying let me fuck you over on anything. Call me on my bullshit if something comes up. But I expect anything outside of that, my house better be extremely peaceful.
Reach.
Right.
Yes.
So
Yeah.
no, that's the trade-off. That's the trade-off. Is I'm giving you the opportunity to go do what you want to do. Live how you want to live in your world, because you should have your own little world. But yeah, don't fuck up, don't rock the boat.
Yeah. All right, let me get to the I like both of these though, these topics. Crazy said, well, yes or no with the communication part. You could have one person communicating something, but the other person not comprehending if if that makes sense, what I'm saying. Yeah, then you just got to communicate better.
Or I don't know what part of I don't know what part of I'm going to pay this bill.
Yeah.
You need to take care of that bill is being not being comprehended.
Yeah.
Hey, listen.
You know what me and Angel do is so we have a ongoing or running Google Keep note thing, and what I do is every month when I'm paying, because all the bills are in my name for the most part, and actually, yeah, no, all of them are. But so what I do on the Google Keep is I'll list all the bills that I paid for the month, and then I show the total, and then I say this is what half of them is, and then it's just I have just a running tab, and then she'll break me off when she gets paid or whatever. That's how we've been doing it, and it works pretty good. It's some
But what would you have done? Hold on, we're talking about.
We were talking about people, right? Have you met them?
Oh,
It's really crazy.
I get it. We get it. And what would you have done if you would have said, "Okay, baby, I need you to, $300 a month," and you would have said, "I ain't paying a goddamn thing."
Well, I've been like, oh, so we're not getting a house.
Okay, well,
I mean, it would just be, it's a matter of like, okay, so now, I mean, like you said, that we kind of talked about it beforehand. So,
right.
But if you were already in a place and I'm assuming, or like, we'll just say, this couple, the guy's just assuming that, oh, she knows she's going to pay half, and she's assuming, oh, I'm not
He's
paying
gonna take care
anything.
of all.
And you move in, and then that comes up the first month of bills. Fuck, dude. Especially if, like, I mean, I'm not so much living check to check, but I mean, I could be pretty close to that, as far as like, I have some stock and saving that in an emergency I can dip into if I need to, but like, the month to month is there's months where I have to fucking scrimp and budget just for my half, and then there's months where I'm like, shit, I'm good for a few months, so it's yeah. If you move in and you haven't talked about that, you're fucked.
And the reality, everybody, it's really crazy sometimes when people say, when they say, hey, I'm living check to check, or I'm like close to it. Everybody is, honestly. The reality of that, because anything could go south at any given time and wipe your shit the fuck out. And so it's just a matter of just making sure you try to stay on top of things as best you can. But with regards to relationship, definitely communicate what's going on, because it could be the death, DEF.
Yeah.
Of that whole situation, right? Of all that.
And just kind of speaking on that, how one little thing can fuck you up. It is crazy that when I finally got insurance here in Nevada, after not having health insurance for 15 years or whatever, it is crazy the amount of just like cloud of anxiety or stress that disappeared, that just kind of hangs over you, that you're like, and it would affect like, do you want to go do some, like, not, I'll just say rock climbing, which I would never do, but do you want to go rock climbing? There's certain shit that I would always be like, man, if I fucking broke a leg or something, I'm ruined. I can't.
Yeah.
So it's just crazy, but excuse me, I got the hiccups now. I want to get your topics. How long does it take or did it take you to know when you had a good mate in your life? Sorry, hiccups.
You got to. Look, I can't. I don't have nobody.
Oh, you're asking me, or just I didn't know if that was like a question in general, or
it is a general question. But we've obviously we've talked about how you and Angel became connected. But and obviously it was in that part where she was like, "Hey, well, shit, when you ready, I'm ready."
Yeah.
So, but how long after that did you think, okay, well, shit, okay, this might be all right for me?
There's, it's interesting. There's almost like, I don't want to necessarily call them milestones, but they're events. I'll say there's certain,
Mhm.
there's like little events that go along, that happen along the way. Like before Angel, this is again 10 plus years ago, Isabel, one of the things that, like, which I don't know if she knew that I would have, that I did like this, but we were going to meet, and she was raised in West Africa, and I was meeting her to go to movies. And so like when I see her, I go to give her a peck, and I kind of like, not like grabbed her ass, but I kind of like,
Oh yeah, I remember.
don't-
Yeah,
yeah. And she was like, "No, you don't do that. That's not disrespect." I was like, "Oh fuck, I'm sorry." But I like that. I like that. And then with Angel, like I kept canceling, just being an idiot, and she wasn't. It was how she handled it too, because she had every right to where she could have been like, "Hey man, I have an attitude," and be like, "Fuck all this.
I'm moving
Call me
on.
whenever." And I'd have been like,
Yep.
"Well, fuck you," But she was like, "Look, I like you. I really enjoy our time that we spend together, but you keep canceling, and I keep clearing out my schedule to do something with you because I want to spend time with you. So I'm not mad or anything. I'm disappointed because I was looking forward to seeing you. So when you're ready, let me know, and
Mhm.
we'll go from there." And I was like, I like that because it shows that your worth, um,
100%.
and I've said before that it's like I want somebody that, much like my grandmother, which for the longest I said I want somebody similar to my grandmother, in that she was I used to say that she was the most loving person, but she would call you on your shit.
Mhm.
She would say like, "I love you, but you really need to look at this." And I also used to say she would give you the shirt off her back and then ask you if you want her pants too. Like just she was just all love. And so I always said I want somebody like that. And yeah, I think the way Angel handles things and handles me and everything, it's great. She hit you with the "I'm disappointed." Yeah. Yeah, it did. It was good. No, like I said, it's the way she said it. I was like, "Oh fuck, okay, all right. I need to
Mhm.
step my game up if I value her, and I want this to see where this goes," which I did, and then here we are. But I don't know if there is. I remember the first time I told her I loved her was
Mhm.
it was around Christmas time, like right before her birthday, I think. And this is when I was living at the apartment over by the convention center, and she was leaving. I walked her out, and it's so funny because I don't even know where she was going, but it was by the fucking giant garbage cans outside. But it just hit me, and I said it, and then she was like, she said it back, and we've been there since. Uh,
Hey,
yes,
I
coming up on 4 years here in like actually I think tomorrow might be, yeah, tomorrow I think's the
wow. Okay,
actual
so
date.
that is a happy anniversary. Look at
I
that.
didn't say something. Yeah.
Hey, I
Uh,
don't know, man. I think it's what you said, though. I think it's a series of events. It's not one certain thing that happens in someone's life where they like, oh man, I'm madly in love now. Because I think that's weird.
yeah.
But I think yeah, it's a series of events and things that happen throughout your interactions over the first, I don't know, 6, 7 months, 8 months, 9 months to a year. That you're like, okay, this might be all right.
Yeah.
This
Yeah.
might be all right. But yeah, it's important to know that feeling because
Yeah.
it's a lot of foolishness going on out here. I'll tell you, man. It's I found myself consistently saying this over and over and over again. If you have someone good in your life right now, you better hold on.
Hold on to it like a tariff.
You better hold on because I'm telling you, man, it's just weird the thought process of people. Maybe I'm the fucking weird one. I don't know. And in my in my expectations of the most basic of things, so it's like I don't know, man. I don't know how this is going to turn out.
It's funny because I know I've said this on here before, and it sounds so like almost like corny to people that don't get it. When
Mhm.
I say this, if you get it, you 100% get it. But if you don't, you're gonna be like, "What the fuck is he talking?" I've For the longest, I always said, "I just want somebody nice. I just somebody that
Mhm.
has a good heart, that's nice." And Angel is, and the girl I dated before, Isabel, very nice and sweet, and that's those are qualities that I for the longest I was
Mhm.
like, I just want somebody nice, fucking considerate, old school values, and so I found an older broad that had those values. 5 months older.
That is, because it's important, man. It's important because I don't know, and I find myself kind of bumbling and fumbling sometimes when I'm trying to even talk to people. Now I'm like, I don't see it. I don't see it. I'm trying to, because again, I had a good talk with a friend of mine recently, and he was talking about the homie. He was like, man, he's dating someone. I'm picking my words carefully. He's dating someone, and he was like, I just don't want to be lonely,
Oh,
and I get that part of life too, but I also don't want people to settle
yeah.
for something that they're just like, all right, man, well, I don't want to go through the rigmarole of having to relearn somebody and have to meet somebody else and have to go through all that. So I'm just going to settle for this because it's okay. I don't know. I don't
Dude,
know. I'm not there.
I feel like that's a horrible reason to be with someone or stay with someone, is just because you don't want to be alone. That's wild to me. But um, I
And
and
there's some other factors to his situation. There's some other factors that played to his advantage with that regard to that. But my point was for him because obviously he's a good friend of mine. I'm like, man, I want you to be happy at the end of the day.
right.
As your friend, I want all my friends and people around me to be genuinely happy and be happy with the people that they're with. So it's not that he's not happy. It's just a lot. It's some things just don't mesh,
Yeah,
and that could be a deal breaker for a lot of other people.
and you sound like, as far as you, not your buddy, but where you're at right now is where I was before I met Angel. Like, for the longest, I was single, and like, I wasn't opposed to finding or being in a serious relationship, but I also was like, I've never been like, I'll be in a relationship to be in a relationship. It's
Mhm.
like, I'd rather be alone and happy than with somebody, just to say I'm with somebody. And I'm curious. You know what I'm curious about, when you do meet someone or you start dating someone, because you're working now more than ever, right?
Mhm.
Comedically,
Mhm.
and it takes a certain person to date a comic, like that
Mhm.
can deal with the being gone for days and the crazy hours and all that. So that's what I'm curious about, how that's going to go down when you meet that special person or whatever.
It's gonna be interesting because
Yeah.
the couple of people that I've talked to recently, I'm like, because of my schedule, if I make time, I'm not a big phone person. I don't really want to spend hours on end talking on the phone, but I can text you. So if I respond quickly with the schedule that I have and the schedule I've been keeping, and you can't, then I'll be like, yeah, I'm out.
You're like, you got 3 days, 3 days. Keep
72
my
hours. You got 72 hours. So, and that
so
may be
funny.
pretentious on my end, but I'm just like, I don't know, man. You do the basics. Just do the basics. If we're communicating, let's communicate. Then if not, then you stay over there and I'm gonna be over here and everything's gonna be all good.
Crazy said, okay, quick hot take. What's worse, calling someone a heifer, broad, bitch, hoe? Does it just depend on the situation? Like, what do you think of piss a woman off more in argument? White woman, a cunt. Uh, Broad, I don't feel like is like a negative thing. I mean, like, if you have an adjective before, like, oh, this fucking dumb broad, then maybe like, uh,
And I
but
ain't heard heifer. That's a
heifer,
southern thing. Shut up, you old fucking heifer.
that's a fat woman. Look at this
Right.
fucking fat heifer over here. But which is the worst? It's funny. I got into a debate which this guy invited himself into about which is worse, cunt or bitch. Calling someone a cunt or bitch or something like that. This is like God, 12 years ago. I posted it because it was about a joke or something. This guy fucking came in and white knighted, and I'm like, you're like defending a person that doesn't exist. It was just a question, but anyway, I digress. But which is worse, calling someone a heifer, broad, bitch, or I guess probably a bitch. I don't know.
Oh, honest, I say
Maybe
because these women call themselves bitches all day long now. So it's like, that's weird. It's almost like the N word for women. Is that they go, bitch, shut up, bitch, and then we come along and be like, bitch, shut up. Be like, wait the fuck, hold on, why are you talking to me like that? And so it's weird. It's a weird thing. So I'd have to lean more towards than bitch. Ho means that you out here.
yeah. You know what? You know why I said bitch, but I get what you're saying, because I was thinking like if I was a woman and somebody called me a hoe, but I'm not a hoe, then I would just be like, I would give a fuck. But then you could say the same thing with bitch, but
right,
which is more like a more overall. But for white women, though, it's definitely cunt.
okay. I'm next argument I get into
all those. You call a white chick, just go, shut up, cunt.
Let's see what happens.
Yeah, dude, and which is funny because in Ireland, you know, like that's a term of endearment. Yeah,
that's funny.
And so Hillary from Mic Drop Comedy Club, I did I did the Big Pine Festival, like the first year she took it over, and I was doing I was in this little, like she had different rooms, place venues that you would do stuff, and there was a podcast I was on, and there was literally only two people, this older couple that was watching the podcast. And while we're doing the podcast, one of the hosts asked me, "What's your favorite curse word?" So I said, "Cunt." I love cunt. And what up, Sandy? I just saw you. And so get done with the podcast, whatever. And Hillary tells me, she's like, "Yeah, I heard the podcast went great." And I was like, yeah, it was fun. And she goes, "Also, my parents met you." And I was like, "Who's your parents?" Her parents were sitting there, who I love.
That's hilarious.
I love them so much now, and I didn't know them at the time. And like her mom is Mimi, and fucking I call her dad, Hillary's dad, Pops. And they were there when I was like, "Oh yeah, I like cunt."
That's hilarious.
Oh fuck,
that's hilarious.
Crazy said he lived in Japan, so maybe they didn't like heifer because that meant that they were fat. Maybe.
Well, that goes.
Who lived in Japan?
A cousin. That's what we were talking about earlier.
Oh, okay, I see it, because my cousin said heifer, and I was like, I don't know. He's 33. Oh, okay, gotcha. I'm with you. I know, crazy. I know you can't take me nowhere. I got a show to go to, but let's do your other topic.
I forgot what the other one was.
Oh shit, Joanne just texted me from Boston. What was the other one was what you want versus what you need.
Oh, and it's just simple. We can get that one in and out. I think if you are out in these streets, and you're trying to be of the streets and find you somebody of quality, make sure that you pay attention to what you need in your life, not what you want. And I say that from the perspective of we are all visual creatures. Everything we see is what we are attracted to first, but that may not always be what we need. Now, I'm not saying go with someone that's not attracted or that you're not attracted to, but don't always overlook somebody who doesn't come in the package that you envision. I want this dude with this 6-pack, or I want this girl with this tight ass body, and they wind up using you, versus somebody who can get their shit together if y'all work together on it. Yes. So I think it's just a topic I wanted to get out there to be like, hey man, just make sure people are not passing other people over simply based off of a physical attraction.
I'm gonna keep this on here and go over it again next week because I want to delve into it more. But Sandy said men are more visual creatures than women. True, but you know what I've always said is it's it's physical that attracts you, but it's
Mhm.
personality that keeps you. You can use that if you want. You know, it's pretty good lyrics.
I mean, I've
Lyrics.
heard it before, but okay.
Yeah, for me. All right, let's do our plugs, but I'm gonna keep that for next week.
Okay.
Uh,
And Sandy, yeah, he's leaving early because people just, I mean, it's always got something to do, so we just never can do our show.
oh, gee.
This motherfucker, all the times he's done the 6 o'clock, we fucking doing it at fucking 10 a.m. because he got a 6 o'clock show.
All right, what do you got?
Actually, this week is light, but I'm sure I'm gonna probably be back at the LA Comedy Club at some point this week. Then next week, I am again celebrating the graduation of my oldest son, which I'm starting to settle in, and I'm being a proud father next week. And then after that, we back to work. I have a couple of shows locally before we start gearing up for Texas in June as well. But go to parttimefamous.com.
Yes. Well, actually, he's going to be, Carlos is road dogging it with me on Saturday. I'm in Bellflower, California, Shantae Wayans and Friends show. And then tonight I'm going to be at LA Comedy Club. But next week, Ontario at the Ontario Improv with the Smash Brothers and the Dirty Show. And then the week after that, I'll be at the Comedy Cellar on Tuesday. Anyways, go to bigirishj.com for tickets. And until next week, we'll keep trying to put the love back in you, right?
Yeah.
Okay, thanks so much.